In the last episode, Alex Carter received a cryptic transmission from Dr. Elara Vex, beckoning him to uncover the truth behind the abandoned research station. With the Galactic Council's plans to suppress the revolutionary technology, Alex joined forces with Kael, a charismatic smuggler. They set their sights on infiltrating a fortified orbital platform. The dim hum of the orbital platform's engines vibrated through the docking bay's metal floor, a familiar sound to Alex after years of trading on the fringes of the galaxy. As he and Kael stepped off their smuggler ship, the chill of the bay's atmosphere enveloped them, a stark contrast to the warmth of their engines. Kael's voice dropped to a whisper as he surveyed the bay's occupants. "We need to move now. Those council goons won't hesitate to shoot." Alex nodded, his eyes scanning the crowded space. The air reeked of fuel, sweat, and the acrid tang of ozone. A trio of burly guards eyed them from across the bay, their hands resting on the grips of their blasters. "We need to blend in," Kael said, already moving toward a group of rough-looking spacers. "Let's get some info." Alex followed, his senses on high alert as they merged with the crowd. A holographic display flickered to life above a nearby makeshift bar, casting flickering shadows on the faces of the spacers. "Orbital Platform Gamma 7, the display announced, broadcasting a stream of docking manifests and cargo manifests. Restricted access areas highlighted in red. Kael's elbow nudged Alex's ribs. "Looks like we're in luck. The Council's shipment is due in Sector 4. As they watched, a hooded figure slipped away from the crowd, their gaze lingering on Alex before disappearing into the throng. A shiver ran down his spine. Kael noticed his unease. "What's wrong?" Alex hesitated, his eyes still scanning the crowd. "Just a feeling." Kael's expression was skeptical. "We can't afford to be spooked, Alex. Not here." A burst of static from the comm system cut through the bay's chatter, followed by a crisp, automated voice. "All personnel be advised. Council security teams are conducting a sweep of the platform. Please report to your designated muster stations." The bay erupted into a flurry of activity as spacers and guards alike scrambled to respond. Kael grabbed Alex's arm, pulling him toward the exit. "Looks like our window just closed." As they pushed through the crowd, the hooded figure reappeared, this time holding a data pad with a cryptic message scrawled on its surface. "Trust no one." Alex's heart quickened. What was going on? And who was sending him these warnings? The chaos around them reached a fever pitch as the security teams closed in. Kael yanked him into a narrow service corridor, the bay's turmoil left behind. "We need to get out of here now," Kael said, his voice tight with urgency. As they fled, the darkness of the corridor swallowed them whole, and Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were being herded toward a fate worse than capture. Previously, Alex Carter received a cryptic transmission from Dr. Elara Vex, beckoning him to uncover the truth behind the abandoned research station. He joined forces with Kael, a charismatic smuggler, to infiltrate a fortified orbital platform and gather intel on the Galactic Council's sinister agenda. As Alex's heart raced, the warning from the mysterious hooded figure echoed in his mind. "Trust no one." The darkness of the service corridor seemed to closing in around him, and he couldn't help but wonder if Kael was part of the trap. "You're sure we can trust your contacts on the platform?" Alex asked, his voice low and urgent as they moved swiftly through the cramped passage. Kael's eyes flickered, his expression unreadable in the dim light. "My sources are reliable, Alex." "We just need to." A loud clang reverberated through the corridor, followed by the sound of footsteps and muffled voices. The Council's security teams were closing in. Alex's instincts screamed at him to keep moving, to find a way out before they were caught. Suddenly, Kael stopped in front of a ventilation grill, his fingers flying over the locking mechanism. The grill slid open, revealing a narrow air duct. "In now," Kael hissed, already disappearing into the darkness. Alex didn't hesitate, crawling after Kael as the sounds of pursuit grew louder. The air duct was a tight squeeze, but they moved swiftly, the duct's metal walls scraping against Alex's shoulders and chest. The air was thick with dust and the smell of grease, making his throat burn. As they emerged on the other side, Alex found himself in a cramped, dimly lit maintenance room. Kael was already moving, his footsteps light on the metal catwalk. Alex followed, his eyes adjusting to the faint light. The room was a maze of pipes, pumps, and machinery, the air thick with the smell of hydraulic fluid and ozone. Alex's training as an entrepreneur kicked in, his mind racing to understand the layout and find a way to use it to their advantage. Kael stopped at a bank of control panels, his fingers flying over the keys. The machines around them hummed to life, and a hiss of compressed air filled the room. A hidden panel slid open, revealing a narrow stairway leading down into darkness. "Welcome to the underbelly of the platform," Kael said, a wry smile twisting his lips. "Our ride out of here is waiting. Let's hope my contacts are as reliable as they claim." As they descended into the unknown, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into a trap. But he had no choice. They had to keep moving, to find a way to uncover the Council's secrets and unlock the true potential of the research station's technology. And then, out of the darkness, a voice spoke, its tone like a cold breeze on a winter's night. "Welcome, Alex Carter. I've been waiting for you." The stairway opened up into a dimly lit hangar, the darkness punctuated by the faint glow of engine lights. A sleek black ship waited, its cockpit open like a gaping maw, and standing beside it a figure in a black coat, its face hidden behind a mask of mirrored glass. "Who are you?" Alex demanded, his hand instinctively reaching for the blaster at his hip. The figure chuckled, its voice like ice. "Someone who knows more about Dr. Vex's plans than you do, Alex, and someone who's willing to do whatever it takes to stop the Council from getting their hands on that technology." Alex's heart raced as Kael stepped forward, his eyes locked on the figure. "You're one of Dr. Vex's associates." The figure nodded, its mirrored mask glinting in the faint light. "I am the one who's been sending you warnings, Alex. And I am the only one who can help you now." As Alex hesitated, the figure continued, its voice dripping with menace. "You have a choice to make, Alex. Trust me, and we might just make it out of here alive. Refuse and, well, let's just say the Council will be the least of your worries." The darkness closed in around Alex, the silence heavy with tension. He knew he had to make a decision, and fast. But could he really trust this mysterious figure? And what did they truly know about Dr. Vex's plans previously? Alex Carter infiltrated a fortified orbital platform with Kael, a charismatic smuggler, to uncover the Galactic Council's sinister agenda. As they navigated the treacherous underworld, they were confronted by a mysterious figure in a black coat who claimed to be a doctor, Vex associate, offering to help Alex in exchange for his trust. As Alex stood frozen, the mirrored mask seemed to bore into his soul, its glinting surface reflecting the doubt and uncertainty that had been building inside him since he first received Dr. Vex's cryptic transmission. He glanced at Kael, searching for any sign of deceit or warning, but the smuggler's expression remained unreadable. "You're asking me to trust you," Alex said slowly, his voice barely above a whisper. "But how do I know you're not just another Council agent? How do I know you're not working against me?" The figure chuckled again, its voice sending a shiver down Alex's spine. "Because, Alex, I've been watching you. I've seen the way you think, the way you lead. And I believe you're the only one who can stop the Council's plans." Alex's instincts screamed at him to be cautious, but something about the figure's words resonated deep within him. He took a deep breath, his mind racing with the possibilities. "Okay," Alex said finally, his voice firm. "I'll trust you, but just remember I am not naive. I'll be watching you just as closely." The figure nodded, its masked face inclining slightly. "I would expect nothing less, Alex. Now, let's get out of here before the Council's security teams catch up to us." As they boarded the sleek black ship, Alex felt a sense of trepidation mixed with hope. He had no idea what lay ahead, but he knew he had to be willing to take risks if he wanted to unlock the secrets of the research station's technology. The ship's engines roared to life and they lifted off into the darkness, leaving the orbital platform behind. Alex gazed out at the stars, his heart pounding with anticipation. "What's the plan?" Alex asked, turning to the mysterious figure. "We're headed to meet one of Dr. Vex's most trusted allies," the figure replied, its voice now tinged with a hint of excitement. "Someone who can provide us with the intel we need to take down the Council once and for all." Alex's grip on the armrest tightened as the ship hurtled through space. He knew that he was walking into the unknown, but he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. But as they approached their destination, a transmission crackled through the comms system, sending a chill down Alex's spine. "Attention, Alex Carter," a cold, detached voice said. "This is Agent Rachel Morse of the Galactic Council. We've been tracking your movements and we know exactly where you're headed. You're not going to make it out of this alive." Alex's eyes locked onto the figure in the black coat, his heart racing with fear. Had he just made a terrible mistake previously? Alex Carter, after infiltrating a fortified orbital platform with Kael, was confronted by a mysterious figure in a black coat, claiming to be a Dr. Vex associate, who offered to help Alex in exchange for his trust. Alex, despite his reservations, decided to trust the figure, and they escaped the platform, heading to meet one of Dr. Vex's trusted allies to gather intel on the Council's plans. However, just as they approached their destination, they received a transmission from Agent Rachel Morse of the Galactic Council, threatening to kill Alex. The figure in the black coat turned to Alex, its masked face unreadable but its voice firm. "Don't worry, Alex. We've anticipated this. Our ally has set up a trap for the Council's agents. Well, be safe. For now." As the ship shook and rattled, dodging laser blasts and debris, Alex's grip on the armrest tightened. He could feel the tension building up inside him, his mind racing with questions. Who was this mysterious figure? Could he really trust them? And what lay ahead? The ship burst through the clouds of a dense, toxic fog, revealing a derelict space station, its hull twisted and ravaged by asteroid impacts and laser scars. The figure's ship hovered above the docking bay, and Alex could see a figure standing at the entrance, waving them down. "Welcome to the Raven's Nest," the figure in the black coat said, as the ship landed with a thud. "Dr. Vex's ally is waiting for us." Alex followed the figure, his heart pounding in his chest, as they walked through the dimly lit corridors of the space station. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and smoke, and Alex could hear the sound of welding and machinery humming in the distance. They arrived at a large, dimly lit chamber, filled with rows of computer terminals and makeshift workstations. A figure, clothed in a pair of worn overalls, stood at the far end of the room, its back turned to them. "Ah, welcome, Alex," the figure said, turning to face them. "I am Renan Vashon, Dr. Vex's former colleague and one of the leading experts on the research station's technology." Alex's eyes widened as he took in Renan's appearance. The man's face was scarred, his left eye and ear missing, replaced by a cybernetic implant. His right arm was augmented with a mechanical limb and his skin was deathly pale. "What happened to you?" Alex asked, shocked. Renan chuckled, a cold, mirthless sound. "The Council's agents did this to me. They wanted to silence me, to keep me from revealing the truth about the research station's technology." Alex's anger flared up, but Renan held up a hand, forestalling him. "There's no time for that, Alex. We have work to do. I've gathered intel on the Council's plans and I know how to take them down. But we need to move fast before they send more agents after us." Alex nodded, determination burning within him. He was ready to take on the Council to fight for the future of humanity, and with Renan's help he knew he could do it. "What's the plan?" Alex asked, his voice firm. Renan smiled, a cold, calculating smile. "We're going to infiltrate the Council's central database, gather evidence of their wrongdoing, and broadcast it to the entire galaxy. With the people on our side, we can bring the Council down and create a new era of freedom and prosperity." Alex's heart soared as he nodded, a sense of purpose and direction driving him forward. He knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but he was ready to face it head-on. For the first time in his life, he felt truly alive, truly connected to his destiny. But as they began to plan their next move, Alex couldn't shake off the feeling that they were walking into a trap, that the council had one last trick up its sleeve. And he knew that he had to be prepared for anything, to fight with every fiber of his being if he wanted to emerge victorious. Previously, Alex Carter, after infiltrating a fortified orbital platform with Kael, was confronted by a mysterious figure in a black coat, claiming to be a Dr. Vex associate, who offered to help Alex in exchange for his trust. Alex, despite his reservations, decided to trust the figure, and they escaped the platform, heading to meet one of Dr. Vex's trusted allies to gather intel on the Council's plans. However, just as they approached their destination, they received a transmission from Agent Rachel Morse of the Galactic Council, threatening to kill Alex. As Alex stood in the dimly lit chamber of the Raven's Nest, surrounded by rows of computer terminals and makeshift workstations, he felt a sense of unease settling in. Renan Vashion's cold, calculating smile seemed to hint at a deeper agenda, one that Alex couldn't quite put his finger on. But before he could voice his concerns, the air was shattered by the sound of alarms blaring and lights flashing. Incoming transmission from an unknown source, Renan's cybernetic implant announced, its voice calm and detached. Decoding now. The room fell silent, the only sound the hum of machinery and the creaking of the derelict space station's hull. Alex's heart raced as he exchanged a tense glance with the figure in the black coat, their masked face unreadable. Suddenly, the main console flickered to life, displaying a grainy holographic image of a woman with piercing green eyes and jet-black hair. Dr. Elara Vex, Alex breathed, his mind reeling with questions. "Alex, I am glad you're alive," Dr. Vex's hologram said, her voice urgent and strained. "I've been trying to reach you. The Council's agents are closing in on your position. You need to get out of there now." Renan's mechanical arm snapped into action, its fingers flying across the console. "I'm trying to hack into the Council's frequency, Doctor, but their encryption is no time, Renan," Dr. Vex interrupted. "Alex, trust no one. Not even those who claim to be my allies. You must find a way to uncover the truth about the research station's technology and the Council's true intentions. The fate of humanity depends on it." The transmission cut off, plunging the room into an unsettling silence. Alex's gaze locked onto Renan, his cybernetic implant glowing with an otherworldly intensity. "What just happened?" Alex demanded, his voice firm and accusatory. Renan's smile never wavered. "It seems, Alex, that Dr. Vex has given you a new mission, one that requires absolute trust in yourself and a willingness to question everything." Previously, Alex Carter, after infiltrating a fortified orbital platform with Kael, was confronted by a mysterious figure in a black coat, claiming to be a Dr. Vex associate, who offered to help Alex in exchange for his trust. Alex, despite his reservations, decided to trust the figure, and they escaped the platform, heading to meet one of Dr. Vex's trusted allies to gather intel on the Council's plans. However, just as they approached their destination, they received a transmission from Agent Rachel Morse of the Galactic Council, threatening to kill Alex. As Alex's gaze locked onto Renan, the air in the dimly lit chamber seemed to thicken with tension. The sound of alarms still lingered, a harsh reminder of the danger that lurked outside the Raven's Nest. Alex's mind raced with questions, but one thing was certain. Dr. Vex's warning had ignited a spark of paranoia within him. Who could he trust? "You're telling me," Alex said, his voice low and even, "that Dr. Vex doesn't trust you?" Renan's smile remained frozen, his cybernetic implant pulsing with an otherworldly energy. "Dr. Vex is a brilliant scientist, Alex, but she's also a master strategist. Sometimes the people closest to us can pose the greatest threat." Alex's eyes narrowed, his mind racing with the implications. He thought back to Kael's charismatic smile, to the ease with which he had infiltrated the orbital platform. Was Kael playing him all along? "We need to get out of here," Alex said, his voice firm. "We can't stay in one place for too long, not with the Council closing in." Renan nodded, his mechanical arm moving with precision as he accessed the console. "I've hacked into the local comms network. We have a window of opportunity to escape, but we need to move now." As they made their way through the winding corridors of the Raven's Nest, Alex's senses were on high alert. He couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched, that every step they took was being monitored. The transmission from Dr. Vex had changed everything. Trust was a luxury they couldn't afford. Outside, the darkness of space stretched out before them like an endless abyss. Alex's eyes scanned the horizon, searching for any sign of trouble. The silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the soft hum of the ship's engines. "Where are we headed?" Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Renan's mask remained expressionless, but his cybernetic implant pulsed with an intensity that made Alex's skin crawl. "We're going to meet someone who can help us unravel the mystery of the research station's technology. Someone who's been watching you from the shadows, Alex." Alex's heart skipped a beat as he turned to face Renan. "Who is it?" Renan's smile returned, his eyes glinting with an otherworldly intensity. "You'll see, Alex. You'll see." Previously, Alex Carter, still reeling from the mysterious figure's offer of help, was threatened by Agent Rachel Morse of the Galactic Council and subsequently met Renan, a doctor, Vex associate with a cybernetic implant, who revealed that Dr. Vex didn't trust him. Together, they escaped the Raven's Nest, heading to meet a mysterious ally who could help unravel the secrets of the research station's technology. As the darkness of space enveloped them, Alex's mind raced with questions, his instincts screaming that Renan was hiding something. The silence was broken only by the soft hum of the ship's engines, a constant reminder that they were running out of time. Suddenly, the ship lurched, throwing Alex off balance. Renan's mask remained expressionless, but his eyes darted toward the console, his cybernetic implant pulsing with an urgent intensity. "What's happening?" Alex demanded, his hand instinctively reaching for the blaster at his side. "We're experiencing a minor systems failure," Renan replied, his voice calm, but his words laced with an underlying tension. "It's nothing to worry about, Alex." Alex's gaze narrowed, his instincts screaming that Renan was lying. He turned to study the console, his eyes scouring the data streaming across the screen. That's when he saw it, a small, almost imperceptible energy signature, hovering just beyond the edge of their sensors. "Renan, what's that?" Alex asked, his voice low and even, his finger tracing the outline of the signature on the screen. Renan's mask seemed to falter for a moment, his eyes flashing with a mixture of fear and determination. "That, Alex, is the Echo, a stealth vessel, capable of remaining invisible to our sensors. It's the only ship in the galaxy that can keep pace with us." Alex's heart raced as he turned to face Renan, his mind racing with the implications. They were being hunted, and the hunter was closing in fast. The question was, who was behind the Echo, and what did they want with the research station's technology previously? Alex Carter and Renan narrowly escaped the Raven's Nest, only to discover a mysterious energy signature, the Echo, hot on their tail, leaving Alex wondering who was behind it and what their intentions were. As the darkness of space seemed to close in around them, Alex's eyes locked onto Renan's, the air thick with tension. "You knew they were following us, didn't you?" Alex's words dripped with accusation, his hand still grasping the blaster at his side. Renan's mask remained impassive, but a flicker of guilt danced in his eyes. "I suspected it was possible," he admitted, his voice laced with a hint of regret. "But I didn't think they'd find us so quickly." The ship's engines groaned, straining to maintain their speed as the Echo drew closer. Alex's mind raced with strategies, but every option seemed to end in a dead end. That's when he spotted it, a narrow window of opportunity to lose the Echo in the asteroid field they were approaching. "Renan, can you plot a course through the field?" Alex asked, his voice firm, decisive. Renan nodded, his fingers flying across the console. "It's a gamble, but it's our only chance." As they hurtled into the asteroid field, the ship shuddered and lurched, dodging and weaving through the treacherous terrain. Alex's knuckles whitened as he gripped the armrests, his heart pounding in his chest. They emerged on the other side, the echo nowhere in sight. For a moment they shared a sigh of relief. Then Renan's console beeped, a message flashing across the screen. "What is it?" Alex asked, his brow furrowed. "Meet our mysterious ally," Renan replied, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "Kael's waiting for us on the other side of the platform. We need to move now." As they made their way to the meeting point, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into a trap. But with the echo still out there, they had no choice but to take the risk. Kael greeted them with a charming smile, his eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint. "Welcome, Alex. I see you're still in one piece. That's more than I can say for our friends back on the Raven's Nest." Alex's gaze narrowed. "What do you mean?" Kael's grin widened. "Let's just say the Council's getting desperate. They'll stop at nothing to get their hands on that tech. We need to move fast if we want to stay one step ahead." As they made their way through the crowded platform, Alex couldn't help but wonder what other secrets Kael was hiding. But for now, he was their only hope. "Kael, what's the plan?" Alex asked, his eyes scanning the bustling crowd. "We need to gather intel on the Council's operations," Kael replied, his voice low, serious. "I have a contact who can get us into their high-security database. But we need to be careful, the Council's got eyes and ears everywhere." Alex nodded, his mind already racing with strategies. "Let's get to work." As they dove deeper into the underworld of smugglers and operatives, Alex couldn't help but feel a spark of hope. They might just have a chance to uncover the secrets of the research station and bring the Galactic Council to its knees. But for now, they had to survive the night. Previously, Alex Carter and Renan narrowly escaped the Raven's Nest, only to be pursued by the mysterious energy signature, the Echo. After losing the Echo in an asteroid field, they met with Kael, a charismatic smuggler, to gather intel on the Galactic Council's sinister agenda. As Kael led them through the crowded platform, Alex's instincts screamed warning, but he pushed on, driven by the urgency of their mission. They wove past shady characters and makeshift stalls, the air thick with the smells of smoke and desperation. Kael finally stopped in front of a nondescript door, adorned with a faded emblem of a crescent moon. "Welcome to the moon's shadow," Kael said, his eyes glinting with amusement. "My contact, Elwes, will meet us inside. She's not exactly trusting, so let's keep our wits about us." Alex exchanged a wary glance with Renan as Kael opened the door, revealing a dimly lit room that seemed to swallow the last vestiges of hope. The air inside reeked of stale cigarettes and paranoia, the shadows cast by the flickering lights like grasping fingers. "Elwes," Kael called out, his voice echoing off the metal walls. A figure emerged from the darkness, her features obscured by a hood and a mesh veil. Alex's hand instinctively drifted to his blaster, but Kael's warning glance stayed his hand. "Elwes, this is Alex Carter," Kael introduced, his tone laced with a subtle warning. "He's got a vested interest in taking down the Council." Elwes' gaze locked onto Alex, her eyes glinting like embers in the dark. "I can get you into the Council's database," she said, her voice husky, detached. "But I need something in return. Something personal." Alex's mind raced with the implications, but he knew they had no choice. "What do you want?" he asked, his voice firm. Elwes' smile was a cold, calculated thing. "I want the coordinates to Dr. Vex's research station. The Council's been searching for it in vain, but I think you might know more than you're letting on, Alex Carter." Alex's gut twisted with unease as Kael's eyes flicked to him, a question hanging unspoken in the air. Had they just walked into a trap, or was Elwes their only hope to uncover the secrets of the research station previously? Alex Carter and Renan escaped the Raven's Nest, pursued by the mysterious energy signature, the Echo, before meeting with Kael, a charismatic smuggler, to gather intel on the Galactic Council's sinister agenda. They infiltrated the moon's shadow, a secretive hub, where Kael's contact, Elwes, offered to grant them access to the Council's database in exchange for the coordinates to Dr. Vex's research station. As Elwes' words hung in the air, Alex felt the weight of the research station's secrets like a ticking bomb, waiting to be detonated. He glanced at Kael, searching for any sign of treachery, but the smuggler's expression remained inscrutable. "I'll give you the coordinates," Alex said, his voice measured, "but only if you can guarantee a safe passage to the Council's database and concrete evidence of their plans." Elwes' laughter was a low, menacing purr. "You're in no position to negotiate, Alex Carter. You're just a fugitive trying to stay one step ahead of the Council's agents. But I'll give you credit, you've got balls." "Very well, I'll take you to the database. But don't think for a second that I won't extract every last secret from you." With that, Elwes turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving Alex and Renan to follow her through the winding corridors of the moon's shadow. The air was heavy with tension, and Alex's instincts screamed warnings, but he pushed on, driven by the promise of unlocking the Council's secrets. As they navigated the dimly lit passageways, Kael sidled up to Alex. "You're taking a hell of a risk, trusting Elwes," he whispered. "She's not a woman to be trifled with, but I suppose that's what makes her so useful." Alex shot Kael a sideways glance, his mind racing with the implications. Was Kael in league with Elwes, or was he genuinely trying to help? The smuggler's motivations remained shrouded in mystery, but Alex had no choice but to trust him for now. Their journey through the moon's shadow ultimately led them to a heavily fortified server room, the walls lined with humming servers and data terminals. Elwes produced a small, intricately carved box from her cloak, adorned with strange symbols that seemed to shimmer in the light. "This is a council-issued crypto key," she explained, her voice devoid of emotion. "It'll grant you access to their database, but be warned, the Council's got eyes and ears everywhere. Y'all have to move fast if you want to get out alive." Alex took the box, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. This was it, their chance to uncover the secrets of the research station and the Council's plans. But as he inserted the crypto key into the terminal, a cold dread crept up his spine. They were dancing on the edge of a precipice, and one misstep could prove fatal. The terminal beeped, and a holographic display flickered to life, spewing forth a torrent of classified data. Alex's eyes scanned the stream of information, his mind racing to process the sheer volume of secrets. And then he saw it, a single entry that made his heart skip a beat. Project Erebus Initiative. The designation was accompanied by a cryptic message, Council's utmost priority. All resources allocated, failure not an option. Alex's gaze locked onto the words, a sense of foreboding settling in. What was Project Erebus, and why was it the Council's top priority? He felt the weight of the mystery like a crushing force, but he knew he had to push on. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and Alex was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Previously, Alex Carter and Renan infiltrated the moon's shadow, a secretive hub, to gather intel on the Galactic Council's sinister agenda, and negotiated with Elwes, a shady contact, to access the Council's database in exchange for the coordinates to Dr. Vex's research station. As they accessed the database, Alex discovered a cryptic entry labeled Project Erebus Initiative, the Council's utmost priority. Alex's eyes remained fixed on the holographic display as the gravity of his discovery sank in. Project Erebus loomed like a specter, its true nature shrouded in mystery. He felt an icy shiver run down his spine as he pondered the Council's desperation to keep this project under wraps. The room seemed to darken, the air thickening with an unspoken menace that threatened to consume them all. "Kael, we need to get out of here now," Alex whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of the servers. "We can't let them catch us browsing their classified files." Renan nodded, his eyes darting toward the door as he palmed his pistol. "I've got our six, Alex. Let's move." As they swiftly retreated from the server room, Elwes emerged from the shadows, her eyes glinting with a calculating intensity. "You've got what you came for, Carter. Now it's time for you to hold up your end of the bargain. The coordinates to Dr. Vex's research station. I want them now." Alex hesitated, weighing his options. Could he trust Elwes to keep her word, or would she betray them at the first opportunity? One misstep could prove disastrous, but he knew he had to push on. The Erebus initiative hung like a Damocles sword, waiting to strike at any moment. Their exchange was interrupted by a loud crash, followed by the sound of blaster fire and shouting. The moon's shadow was under attack. Previously, Alex Carter and Renan infiltrated the moon shadow to gather intel on the Galactic Council's sinister agenda, discovering a cryptic entry labeled Project Erebus Initiative, the Council's utmost priority. As they attempted to escape with the valuable information, they found themselves caught in the midst of an attack on the moon's shadow, with Elwes demanding the coordinates to Dr. Vex's research station in exchange for their safety. Alex's instincts screamed for him to act fast, to outmaneuver the chaos erupting around them. He swiftly calculated the odds, his mind racing with the consequences of trusting Elwes. Renan stood guard, his eyes scanning the chaos as Alex made a split-second decision. "All right, Elwes," Alex said, his voice firm and resolute. "You get the coordinates, but you have to get us out of here alive." Elwes's gaze narrowed, but she nodded, her calculating intensity momentarily replaced by a fleeting glimmer of desperation. "Deal. Follow me." With Elwes leading the way, they navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the moon's shadow, dodging blaster fire and panicked civilians. The sounds of destruction grew louder, and Alex's heart raced with anticipation. They finally reached a docking bay, where a sleek, heavily modified shuttle waited. In, Elwes barked, shoving Alex and Renan toward the shuttle. "We don't have much time." As they lifted off, the moon's shadow imploded behind them, a fiery cataclysm that sent shockwaves through the asteroid belt. Alex's grip on the armrest tightened, his knuckles white with tension, as he gazed out at the destruction they had narrowly escaped. "It seems we've become a high-priority target," Alex, Kael said, his voice laced with a mixture of concern and amusement as he piloted the shuttle through the debris field. Alex's eyes met Kael's in the cockpit's reflection, a silent understanding passing between them. They had stumbled into a maelstrom, and their only hope for survival lay in unraveling the mysteries of the Erebus Initiative. Their journey took them to the outer reaches of the galaxy, where they finally discovered the location of Dr. Vex's research station. As they approached the ancient structure, Alex felt an inexplicable sense of connection, as if the secrets hidden within those walls held the key to his destiny. Upon entering the station, they found themselves face to face with Dr. Vex herself, her enigmatic smile a mask for the turmoil brewing beneath. The air was heavy with anticipation as Alex confronted the architect of his journey. "You've come to unlock the secrets, Alex," Dr. Vex said, her voice low and mysterious. "But are you prepared to shoulder the burden that comes with that knowledge?" Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he steeled himself for the revelation to come. The Erebus Initiative, the Galactic Council's sinister agenda, the ancient civilization behind the technology, it all converged upon this moment. "I was born for this," Alex declared, his voice resonant with conviction. With Dr. Vex's guidance, they delved into the heart of the research station, uncovering the secrets of the revolutionary technology and the true purpose of the Erebus Initiative. The revelations shook Alex to his core, forcing him to confront the darkest aspects of humanity's history. As the truth unfolded, Alex realized that the Erebus Initiative was not a project, but a safeguard, a failsafe designed to prevent humanity from repeating the catastrophic mistakes of its past. The ancient civilization had created the technology as a gift, a means to harness the power of the stars and propel humanity toward a brighter future. But the Galactic Council, fearing loss of control and power, had sought to claim the technology for themselves, manipulating and distorting its purpose to serve their own agenda. Alex's eyes burned with determination as he grasped the magnitude of their struggle. With the secrets of the research station finally unlocked, Alex and his companions set their sights on the Galactic Council, determined to expose their sinister plans and reclaim the technology for humanity's benefit. The journey would be treacherous, the stakes higher than ever, but Alex stood poised, his vision, courage, and determination inspiring a revolution that would shatter the status quo and kindle a radiant future. As Alex and his companions launched a final, decisive assault on the Galactic Council's stronghold, the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The battle raged on with Alex at the forefront, his leadership and strategic prowess guiding the charge. In the heat of the battle, Alex faced off against the Council's supreme leader, a cold, calculating individual driven by ambition and greed. The air was heavy with tension as the two enemies locked eyes, their determination and conviction clashing in a struggle that would decide the course of history. The outcome was far from certain, but Alex's resolve remained unshaken. He had come too far, grown too much, to be deterred now. With a fierce cry, he rallied his allies, and together they launched a final, defiant charge. The outcome was nothing short of miraculous. The Galactic Council's stronghold crumbled, its grip on the galaxy loosening as the people of Earth and the asteroid miners rose up, inspired by Alex's courage and vision. The Erebus Initiative, once a symbol of oppression, was reclaimed as a beacon of hope, its true purpose finally realized. In the aftermath, Alex stood victorious, his determination and leadership having forged a new path for humanity. As he gazed out upon the stars, a sense of pride and accomplishment swelled within him. He had unlocked the secrets, shouldered the burden, and emerged transformed, a symbol of resistance and hope in a galaxy redefined. In the distance, the stars shone bright, a radiant future unfolding before him, filled with hope and possibility.